Action!
Before Star Wars, before Jurassic Park,
Juice presents.
You feel that?
there was Jaws. The movie that made audiences afraid to go back in the water
Yeah, they're all gonna die.
and invented the summer blockbuster.
Black eyes like a doll's eye.
But behind the scenes, Jaws was a disaster in the making.
Even if we got 1/16th of a page of script a day, you kept moving.
Mechanical sharks that didn't work.
That's where we ran into the problems.
Actors at each other's throats.
And that was the one day that I lost my sense of humor.
A 26-year-old director on the verge of a breakdown. No one believed it would succeed. Some thought it would destroy Steven Spielberg's career before it even began. This is the story of Jaws, the movie that changed Hollywood forever. When Jaws began production in 1974, Universal Studios thought they were making a modest thriller. The film was based on Peter Benchley's hit novel, a pulpy beach read about a killer shark terrorizing a small island town.
In the shape of a killer shark.
But Spielberg saw something deeper. He wanted Jaws to be about fear itself.
Get out of the water.
The kind that hides beneath calm waters, waiting to strike. Unfortunately, that vision came at a cost. Because to bring the shark to life, Spielberg needed something no one had ever built before. A full-sized, mechanical great white shark that could actually swim in the ocean. They built 3 sharks.
We needed a left shark, we needed a right shark, we needed a head, and of course then we needed the sled shark where it would swim by and we'd see the fins. I think there was like 5 pieces that we needed to make.
Bruce got his name, it's my lawyer's name. I named the shark after my lawyer. He's still my lawyer, by the way.
And from the moment they hit the water, they didn't work. Motors jammed. Hydraulics failed. Salt water corroded the wiring. The sharks sank. Literally.
It was a joke among the crew that you didn't have to worry about this shark because it made so much noise and went so slowly that, you could get out of the water and you could get off the island before it could get to you.
It kept failing and failing and failing and failing.
All over the island through the radio mics, you could hear,
The shark is not working. The shark is not working.
A lot of times we put the shark in the water and it wouldn't move.
We would have to get in and re-weld it, repatch it, re-bolt it, rebuild it, whatever.
With the shark broken, Spielberg was forced to improvise.
the shark never worked. So the film he intended to shoot couldn't be shot.
I had no choice but to figure out how to tell the story without the shark. I suddenly got the idea that we can make a lot of hay out of the horizon line and not being able to see your feet, not being able to see anything below the waistline when you're treading water. What is down there is what we don't see, which is really, truly frightening.
He started filming from the shark's point of view, the camera becoming the unseen predator. And that simple decision created one of the most iconic shots in film history. The opening attack. Steven Spielberg was just 26 years old. This was only his second feature film, and Universal had little faith in him.
Sit down to prepare the next day's work. It's kind of scary because you wonder whether this is all going to fit together.
Filming was only supposed to take 55 days. It took 159 days.
And we were way out of our element for 5 months. And we all began going off the deep end, literally. The film was 100 days behind schedule.
Every day, the crew battled the ocean. Waves, currents, and equipment that broke constantly.
We fought the Atlantic Ocean day after day after day.
One storm destroyed an entire day's worth of footage. Another capsized a camera barge. Actors grew restless. Crew members mutinied.
Every day you had to film. Tempers got short.
At one point, Spielberg stopped showing up on the boat because he feared they'd throw him overboard. But Spielberg's instinct to hide the shark and let the audience's imagination do the work became his saving grace. What was supposed to be a monster movie became something far more terrifying. You never see the shark until it's too late. Behind the camera, things weren't any calmer. Robert Shaw, the grizzled veteran who played Quint, constantly clashed with Richard Dreyfuss's character, Hooper.
Richard one day brought the New York Times onto the boat, and it had a double truck ad with 30 reviews. That did it for Robert Shaw. That was, I think, the beginning of the great Dreyfuss-Shaw feud.
Shaw would taunt him relentlessly, calling him the kid, and questioning his acting chops. Dreyfuss later said, working with Shaw was like being trapped on a ship with a drunk pirate. But those real tensions bled into the film and gave the trio's dynamic its raw, authentic edge.
Cage goes in the water, you go in the water, shark's in the water. Our shark. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
Especially in that scene, the USS Indianapolis monologue.
Lifeless eyes, black eyes like a doll's eyes.
The haunting speech about shark attacks that left hundreds of sailors dead. It was written overnight, partly by Shaw himself.
You know, that was the time I was most frightened, waiting for my turn. I'll never put on a life jacket again.
And shot in just a few takes.
So 1,100 men went in the war. 316 men come out. The Sharks took the rest June the 29th, 1945. Anyway, we delivered the bomb.
In that moment, the movie transformed from a popcorn thriller into something mythic. The audience wasn't just watching men hunt a shark. They were watching themselves face fear, mortality, and obsession. Then came the music. Spielberg originally laughed when composer John Williams played those two notes. He thought it was a joke.
And he said something like, "You think that'll work? You gotta be kidding, it's so simple."
But Williams insisted the simplicity was the point.
Jaws was the first film that I did where I was really crazy about the film. I thought it was a marvelous film.
The heartbeat of the shark itself, that minimal, pulsing score, became the sound of death approaching.
And something that was unforgettable and would be almost a kind of a siren to warn you that something was coming to get you.
And like the shark, it told the audience, "You can't see me, but I'm here."
It's become the thing that kids do with each other when they're playing in the pool. You can always creep up on somebody and go da-da, da-da, and in the post-Jaws world, it means something.
That theme not only made the movie iconic, it taught filmmakers the power of sound design as storytelling.
Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss. Jaws. See it before you go swimming.
By the time Jaws wrapped, everyone thought it was doomed. The budget had doubled. The schedule had exploded. Even Spielberg thought his career was over. But when Universal tested the movie, audiences screamed. And then they cheered. When Jaws hit theaters in June 1975, lines wrapped around the block. It became the highest-grossing movie ever made at the time. And more importantly, it changed how movies were made and marketed. Before Jaws, studios released films slowly, city by city. After Jaws, they went nationwide.
I felt we had not only a hit, but I felt we had a really terrific movie. We opened it in what was then considered a very wide opening, 440 theaters. This country was taken over by Jaws. It's the first picture that I can remember that owned the summer.
With huge marketing campaigns, merchandise, and summer release windows. And just like that, the summer blockbuster was born. And Steven Spielberg went from a nervous kid on a sinking boat to the most powerful director in Hollywood.
The success of that film gave me ultimately freedom to make any movie I wanted to make.
Jaws didn't just make people afraid of the ocean. It redefined what a movie could do. It showed that tension, pacing, and unseen terror could be far scarier than gore. It proved that smart improvisation can turn failure into legend. It gave birth to modern filmmaking. From franchises and sequels to the rise of event cinema. Yet, Spielberg has often said he still has nightmares about those 159 days.
I have very, very good memories in many respects to the making of Jaws, but I have many more bad memories. Memories that still haunt my nightmares, still wake me up sweating.
Because for him, Jaws wasn't just a hit, it was a survival story.
And I came out of it not only alive, which was my main goal in getting through Jaws, was to come out of it in one piece, but I came out of it with a career.
It's ironic, isn't it? A movie about an unstoppable predator almost devoured its own creator. But from that chaos came one of the most important films ever made. A film that taught Hollywood and the world to never underestimate a director with a vision. Thanks for diving deep behind the slate. If you enjoyed this look into how Jaws reshaped Hollywood, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because we've got plenty more stories about chaos, genius, and cinematic miracles still to come.
Action!